Hey, Garage Logic fans, Mishki here, slipping in ever so briefly to mention that I have a podcast that comes out every Wednesday and every Friday, twice a week now. The show is pretty much about everything you care about and are interested in and need in your life and want to know more about. I tailored the darn thing specifically to your liking. I tailored it to your loves, to your true passions. That took a long time. I'm spent. You know what I'm saying? Absolutely wasted.
Okay.
Hey, how are you, Council?
Wally Burchell.
Nope.
What the hell is that?
Who is Wally?
Oh, that's the guy from the MSRA. I wrote
Yes.
I know Jay Burchell
on his name for the Josh. Hey, Josh Arnold, investment consultant, brings you Garage Logic podcast number 1675, the day after Pearl Harbor Day, December 8, 2025. 50 degrees was the high on this day on two occasions, 1939 and 1990. 22 below on this day in 1876. Call Josh Arnold at 952-925-5608 for a free 48-minute consultation.
Hail the flashlight king.
And now, from the mayor's office above the boathouse on the east shore of Spoon Lake, it's Garage Logic with Chris Reavers manning Technology Corner, Kenny Olson from the Krabby Coffee Shop, John Haidt in the newsroom, and of course, the rookie. Here is your flashlight king, fireworks commissioner, and the keeper of common sense, your mayor, Joe Souchere.
I continue to receive mail about chunk kicking. And many GLers have really done some deep thinking about it. And, for example, Dave up in Alexandria, up Kenny's way, writes a little FYI for you. Did you know that once the temperature approaches zero, that chunks are composed of the third hardest substance known to man, surpassed only by diamonds and aluminum oxide? The scientific name is fenderite. That hardness has contributed to many a broken toe in an overly aggressive chunk kicker. That's why experts recommend using the modified reverse heel strike method. Happy kicking, Dave from Alexandria, one of the guy.
Do you do that, the
Fenderite.
backwards?
I've tried them, yeah. Well,
I'm Googling that right now. I think Dave might be having fun with us.
The Mink sent me rules for chunk kicking, but number 6 is there is no rule number 6. And he also believed children under 12 should not kick chunks without supervision, as they are reckless heathens and will ruin the integrity of your automobile. All right. And I have this now. I have Jason from Hastings wants a ruling. I started my Saturday morning just about as good as a guy could. Day off from work, hot coffee, eggs, thick cut bacon, followed by a trip to Fleet Farm with a woman. Things took a turn soon after when walking out of Fleet Farm and into the parking lot. The woman was about 15 to 20 feet in front of me, and I noticed her heading for the driver's side of the truck. Having the keys in my hands, I wondered what she might be up to. She walked right up to the driver's side front wheel and proceeded to kick the chunk off my truck.
Oh.
I stood motionless, almost paralyzed. She then walked around the passenger side and kicked the chunks off that front tire as well.
Oh, there are chunks, honey.
I remained calm, got in the truck, and drove off. After about 10 minutes, I simply said, "You kicked my chunks." She said, "Yes, it was fun." I said, "But you have your own car to kick chunks." The woman said, "Yeah, I kicked those too, but you have a truck and your chunks are bigger. They're more fun."
Hey, now.
Mayor, I must ask, does the fact that we are married give her equal access to my chunks?
Hell no.
I've always considered in my truck, my chunks, her car, her chunks.
Yeah.
I take great pride in my trunk trucks. Truck
chunks. That's hard.
It is.
Truck
rubber
chunks.
baby buggies. I have always taken great pride in my trunk chunks, sometimes letting them truck chunks.
No end.
I'm going to get
chunks.
there. I take great pride in my truck chunks, sometimes letting them grow and waiting for the right time for the perfect kick. I aim to get each one with a single kick and watching the whole chunk slide completely off. I am now left to wonder if she's been kicking my chunks unnoticed all these years. My other dilemma is the ruling that you will issue. On the one hand, if you rule marriage allows equal access to all chunks on our vehicles, I will be getting the short end of the stick, as her Ford Fusion chunks, what I would have access to, are no match for the beauties on my Ram truck. Perhaps I will push to trade her Fusion in for a large SUV. If you rule in my favor, I worry she will not take the ruling seriously after she heard the episode last week in which you stated it was okay to kick chunks off vehicles that you did not own. Yeah, but I took that back. She gasped that remark, stating, No, you never kick a stranger's chunks. With so much winter left and so many chunks still to kick, I look forward to your ruling. Jason in Hastings. I face a dilemma. I face a dilemma.
I have two things that I want to feed you before you make a decision.
All right.
Number one, I will share a house, a meal, and a bed, a bank account with my roommate/wife. I will not share my chunks. Those belong separate. That's a man and a woman, separate issues. And number two, and I want you to take this into accord, since he said he drove a Ram truck.
Yeah.
This only applies to Ram truck drivers. She can kick your chunks and you can wear her underpants.
Oh, you don't like those Rams, do you? That was Jason in Hastings. That wasn't me.
That was a shot across the bow,
Holy
cow. And you are free to reply. By the way, I drive a GMC, so when you're forming your email, I cracked myself up.
This dilemma is driven by the cylinder index. The overlying dynamic at stake here is the cylinder index. Now, presumably, they must share all cylinders. If she's bold enough to be kicking chunks, she's aware of cylinder ownership. So they own the cylinders in common, I'm going to guess, in which case I think she's entitled to kick the truck chunks. If they're a common, as a married couple, if they own the vehicles and count them as their cylinder index, those chunks are fair game for the husband and wife.
Oh, I see this ruling causing civil war and unrest and divorce all over the Garage Logic Nation. I don't know, Joe. I don't know about that.
If they hold their cylinders in separate title, then she is not allowed to kick his chunks.
Oh, sure.
Right? Mm-hmm. I personally, this will never come up with me. This will never happen.
Okay, what about, here's my situation. I made her put her name on the, what do you call it? The
title?
The title, but I paid for it. What do you do then?
I think it sounds like you commonly own the vehicles. If you keeled over right now, it's her truck because she's on the title.
And that's why I did it, because I don't know if I'm going to be here tomorrow, I'll be honest. I just thought it would be easier for her.
Well, I got another ruling. Have I settled that?
Joe, I don't know about that one.
It's such a puzzle.
Yeah.
In my house, we only have one car, and we came to a compromise a long time ago. She gets to kick her side because she sees that all aside.
Oh.
I kick the driver's side.
You know what? That might be a good solution for the guy in Hastings. Let her kick the passenger side. You get your side.
That gal burst out of Fleet Farm and
raced ahead of him.
Beeline to the driver's side.
Yeah, you can't do that.
I think that was untoward.
Yep.
Yeah. Yep.
There it is. She kicks her side. You kick your side.
Yep.
And when it comes to her car, if you're taking that, you still get some kicking in because you're going to kick the passenger side. All right, here's another ruling from Darren Strandberg, who writes, I am a volunteer on a rural ambulance service. On Friday morning, there was an incident in our county. A crew had brought a patient into our local hospital, and this patient needed to quickly be transported to a hospital in a bigger city for care that could not be provided at our local hospital. I was asked to drive for this transport because the roads were iffy And to me, that means fun. I went directly to the hospital. Outside of the emergency entrance of our hospital was a deputy sheriff's pickup, which was expected for the nature of that call. As I walked past it heading to ER, my eyes were locked on what may have been the largest, most beautiful chunk I had ever seen. I thought, what if he gets an emergency call and has to leave quickly? Could that chunk be a danger if it fell off at a high rate of speed? Only for safety reasons. Okay, I really wanted to. I gave it a soft tap with my toe and watched it fall to the ground. It was glorious. I did spend the weekend a little concerned that at some point I may get a knock on my door because I did, I guess, technically commit an FFLF.
Huh.
What do we do there?
Oh, that one's simple to me.
It is, too, to me, because the taxpayers own that sheriff's car.
You took it right out of my... Dang it, Joe.
That's your car, Dean. That's your car as much as the sheriff's.
You stole that from
So
me.
that one was easy.
Yep.
That's
the taxpayer's vehicle.
Well, you can keep sending them in because you know what I'm predicting? I'm predicting we're in for quite a chunk kicking winter. A chunk-kicking winter. And
Sure seems that way.
We'll be their go-to place for the rules and regulations. I want to also tell you that I was reading the Wall Street. Well, now we're going to get serious again. And Reeves, you'll just tell me when you're set with our friend. I'm not in any hurry for you to tell me that.
Yeah, it's going to be a minute
Okay.
here. You know what? I appreciate your patience.
No, it's okay.
I can count down that minute for you.
You know, he won't be silenced even though he doesn't have a working microphone.
By the way, we need to tell GLers why we haven't heard from Matthew today.
Well, he doesn't have a microphone. You write me a note if you want to say something.
I promise.
All right.
Send an email.
Is this 2026? Rookie speaks when spoken to?
Right. I want to read you something because I read this morning.
Yeah, this light needs to go too.
Page 9, today's word, the wrath of walls, but we certainly haven't been told we can't say what we do. So I still think we're better off than Hong Kong, but I can see it coming.
Have presidents or, well, I guess I already know the answer. Presidents have banned certain members of the media from the press room at the White House.
The
Yeah,
current
they have.
administration has.
Yeah, they have.
I have more to say about this
But
subject.
Matt Getz is a correspondent for some Fleabag operation. He sits in the Pentagon press room.
Yeah, he does now.
I have more to say about this subject, but
You'll have to email me.
I've forgotten everything, so I can't. I'm back. Sorry.
My point is
Hate to disappoint you.
I think we would have read that 30 years ago and said, those poor people, what the hell? And now we're looking at it and we're thinking, boy, we're not that far away from that. We're just not that far away from it, which I find saddening. That's all. I just was a small piece, and I thought. And then I had.
But at least in this country, there's been no physical retaliation.
Well, this story doesn't suggest physical retaliation. What it suggests is if you're a Wall Street Journal correspondent and you say something about the fire that the National Security Force doesn't like, you're out of the country. That's what it suggests to me.
And I was going to bring up Russia, where you might accidentally fall out of a jet.
Yeah, you could get blown out of a window.
35,000 feet.
Well,
you know,
Hong Kong is part of China, right?
Right.
I mean, doesn't China control it? So I wouldn't think that'd be that far-fetched that something may happen to you if you report something.
Matthew?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
I mean, if that does happen
Does
to
he
you,
have a mic now?
what you can
we
do
can hear
is report that.
okay, Matt,
And make sure.
pause a second. Does China still, do they know about what happened at Tiananmen Square?
Yes.
Well, Tim Walz was there.
Yeah, that's right.
Tim Walz knows more about China than China.
True.
Say, GLers, especially now, given these driving conditions, we're in for a long, slippery winter. If you get in an accident, you may not know what to do if you're ever injured in an accident. Get a hold of Bradshaw and Bryant, personal injury attorneys. Insurance companies and adjusters can be difficult to deal with, so having someone on your side is important. Mike Bryant from Bradshaw and Bryant will put together a team. Well, he won't put it together. They have a team. They'll explain your rights, represent you, help you through a tough time. Mike is one of the top super lawyers in the state of Minnesota. And that's ranked by Minnesota Law and Politics, which is always ranking lawyers, and Mike Bryant is always at the top of their ratings. I hope you're never in an accident, but if you are, call Bradshaw and Bryant at 800-770-7008 or go to minnesotapersonalinjury.com. Your case evaluation, of course, is free. And please don't be a part of the distraction. Don't text and drive. That's just common sense from Bradshaw and Bryant.
Reavers here once again for my guy, Mr. Money Talk, Josh Arnold. Does thinking about retirement make you uncomfortable? Well, sometimes the anxiety from wondering if you've saved enough can be overwhelming. But what if I told you that you could ease those tensions in just 48 minutes? Well, Mr. Money Talk is going to be able to sit down with you and get you on the right track for your financial future. Josh has navigated it all when it comes to uncertain market and economic conditions, and he'll always provide straight talk, never sugar-coated advice on how to reach the finish line with your retirement goals. Don't let your financial worries give you an ulcer or keep you from calling Josh right now. His 48-minute, no-obligation consultation could be just what you need to feel better about your future. Call Josh today at 952-925-5608 and set up your free 48-minute, no-obligation consultation. That's 952-925-5608.
Investment services offered by Josh Arnold Investment Consultant, LLC, a security investment advisor. Past performance is no guarantee of future results. All investments involve risk. All comments and opinions are Josh Arnold's and do not constitute investment advice.
Chris Reavers is a paid endorser.
Yep. There it is. Go to the break.
The earth is not your mother. Christ. The Joe Souchere Show.
Hi, Ken.
Let's just listen to this music for a second. Let the calming waves wash over us.
Hit that stinger again for me, will you?
Can Dylan record this for about 5 minutes for me and make a copy of it?
You could just loop it if you want him to.
I'd like a 1-hour version of this song, please. I hearken back to June of 2008 when I was assaulted by a deer westbound 94 at Highway 15 in St. Cloud. Since then, Schoonover Body Works and Auto Care, they've done it all for me. Body work, general repair, tires, accessories, more body work, glass, and all of those things, and for my son too. And you know what? Everyone I know has become a Schoonover customer. At least everybody on GL and their families. And speaking of GL, we've got GLers coming to Schoonover from Duluth, Superior, Upper Michigan, Fargo. For one reason and one reason only. They are amazing. They're family owned. They've been at it for over 80 years here in the Metro. That means they've built up generations of trust that's just been handed down among family members. It's their honest pricing, their expert craftsmanship. They stand behind every job. You'll never be shocked by the price when you go to pay. When it's time to settle up, you already know it because they keep you informed. You're always in the loop. Every repair is backed by their guarantee. You leave knowing the job was done correctly, and you put trust in their work. From minor body work to major repairs, they're the best. But, it's not just body work. They do everything. Glass, engines, drivetrain, tires. Boy, tires, very important this time of year. And you know what goes with tires? Alignments. They have an alignment rack there. They are the official shop of Garage Logic, a 4.9 rating on Google. And if you ask any GLer, 5 stars. Schoonover Body Works and Auto Care. They're at 1060 County Road E in Shoreview. Find them on the internet, schoonoverbodyworks.com.
You guys recall we discovered that Mrs. Walls, during the George Floyd protests, let it out that she loved to leave her windows open so she could smell the destruction and the fires and the burning of the smoke, which telegraphed to me that she was rooting for the anarchy, just like her husband was, and her daughter, who was alerting protesters as to the location of
law enforcement.
Guard. Are you going to look here? The Mink notes that Gwen Walls now has been keeping the windows open in wherever they live. She wants to hear all the people driving by calling her husband retard.
Oh.
But don't shoot.
There it is.
I know we're not supposed to use that word, but in this case, I think it's fine.
Yeah, it's been making a comeback, hasn't it?
Really?
Yeah.
All right. The other day, I got on a service road of life soliloquy about, I think what happened was that we were all leading, Americans, leading reasonably sound, productive lives and enjoying the fruits of liberty and enjoying even stuff and raising families and buying a house and having a car and kids going to school and playing sports. And we didn't pay any attention, basically, to what was happening politically. Of course, we paid attention during presidential elections and maybe even in governor's elections. But for the most part, I think people just grew accustomed to things running fairly smoothly and took a lot of great American life for granted. Well, I have I have an addendum to that theory. It was also the fact that during these times of what I contend we weren't paying attention, we probably at least knew in regional and local elections, for example, we knew who we were voting for. We might have literally known the person. They lived down the block. The guy might have been a local insurance executive or a school teacher or whatever. And we knew that, hey, did you see where Norm Jones is running for office?
Yep.
And the wife might say, yeah, I talked to his wife in the supermarket. And we knew who these people were. For the most part, they were sharing the same experiences that all of Americans were. They shopped where we shop. They went to the same movie theater. They might have seen them in church. You saw them at the hardware store or out for a bicycle ride or wherever. They were among us. We knew who we were voting for. And I would add in my addendum that the outgrowth of the overriding problem of we took all of that for granted and weren't really paying attention is that it became increasingly easier for people we don't know to run for political office and get elected. We don't, it's uncanny how much the average GLer listening to this show probably doesn't have in common with the average city council member the closer you get to the country's tallest buildings.
That's key, the last thing you just said there, because I believe in Kenny's area, the city council.
Yes, this still might be true where Kenny lives. He might know who is representing him.
I'd even say South St. Paul. I think there's a lot of people that are.
So what happened is we got all of these. As the activists took over, I can't identify with a single one of them. I think I'd love to get the stats. In fact, I almost called Gabe over the weekend. I'd like to know how many city council members in Minneapolis and St. Paul have kids. I'd like to know how many of them own a home. I'd like to know how many of them even own a car. And I bet you will find that the greatest percentage of them in both towns are renters, that they might eschew a car because they're part of the group that tries to demonize gasoline. And I would imagine that combined of the two city, what are there, 13 seats in Minneapolis? Or 13 wards?
Correct.
So, and there's however many in Minneapolis, 7, or St. Paul, 7?
7, I believe.
So 7 and 3, that's 20 people. I bet there's not 5 kids among the 20 people. I bet there's not 5. Now, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong, but I'm just saying, we no longer, now, you don't run into them at the grocery store.
7 in St. Paul.
You don't see them at the movie theater. You don't see them at the hardware store. You don't see them out on the bicycle paths that they've insisted we must have. They're on a third rail, almost physically on a third rail of existence that has nothing to do with us. And so rather than serve to reflect the needs of the citizenry, their leash has been so free that they take the tax money and they play social games with it that has nothing to do with us leading our lives and hoping for the street to be plowed and the street lights to work. They're off on a different tangent. They're great believers in equity, and they think that equity's the answer because they've come out of the failed academy and they're predisposed to think that life is terribly unfair and that there are too many victims, and the people who actually have jobs and start corporations and employ people are merely oppressors. And they're ruining the cities. They're ruining America, and they're ruining the cities, and it's happening here. We're seeing it right in front of us. So the second part of me thinking we haven't been paying attention is the fact that we also no longer know the people who represent us. They're not down around the corner. I'm not seeing them at the kids' Little League softball game. They're not. Who are they? Now, I got a note from Howard Cleary. She's a frequent contributor, one of GLer's many deep thinkers.
Under our direction.
Right. Recently, you were pondering the mindset of the socialists and how we arrived here. Your comment, while we were water skiing in 1965, we were not worried at all about our way of life and took it for granted. As we now know, all along there have been subtle but dark undercurrents eroding that confidence we once took for granted. I am writing to add color to the picture of what we know or think we know about the socialist progressive mindset. My wife was watching Carol Evan on Saturday morning, making it clear that unlike Rookie, I don't watch it by choice. I happened to be in the room during the broadcast. Brian Eggert, an independent movie reviewer and deeply steeped in the mystery, was reviewing a movie. The title doesn't matter because he manages to flavor every review with progressive rhetoric. I'm unaware of who this Brian Eggert is. During the review, he stated, winning can be self-destructive. And it struck me. This idea is at the core of what we are seeing. The link below is a video of the interview I recorded with my phone. About 30 seconds. It gives full context of the statement. Then he linked me to the video, which I haven't even watched yet. It was slipped in so casually as to go almost unnoticed, except by those who either agree or those who understand the implication. When you made your water skiing remark, you implied that the effort to undo ourselves went unnoticed. Not true. You've been observing and commenting on the mystery for as long as I've been a listener. You may not have fully understand or fleshed out what you were seeing or what it would come to mean in 2025. Unfortunately for all of us, you're not a seer, but you did help all of us arrive at the same conclusion. As much as progressives think winning is self-destructive, we all recognized immediately the progressive mindset is self-destructive and defeatist. They are willing to give up and relinquish their rights to others because they have been taught to believe they haven't come by them honestly and they don't deserve them. Another piece of the puzzle. Best Howard. I do think I'd put a different spin on the words winning can be self-destructive. We've talked about it before. I think it is the progressive nature to undermine competition. Yeah. I think it is in the progressive mindset to undermine achievement. I think it's in the progressive mindset to just undermine getting ahead in life. That's not what they foresee. They foresee sharing misery equally.
Case in point. Boys playing in girls' sports.
Right.
Yeah.
They don't care about the winning or losing. When, winning is really one of the great backbones of liberty when you stop to think about it. No matter what you do, you can win at it. You can win at a podcast. You can win selling insurance. You can win as a school. You can be the best you can be is winning. And they don't like winning. That they don't try to win. Where were we? Well, here's where we are.
In general?
Here's where we are. We're all aware of it now. GLers are aware
Yep.
of what's happening. What we do about it is still in play. The whole ideology that gave rise to the fraud in Minnesota stemmed from a belief that, well, it's about time some other people had some equity. It's about time other people had money in the game. These rich people who live on a lake, they don't deserve it any more than anybody else. So they kept looking the other way as his money went out the door. Led by Walz, who knew damn well it was happening, is complicit. Keeps making the false claim that it was because of his administration and him specifically that justice was finally brought to the forefront. No, it wasn't. The FBI and the Fed started the indictments. Walz had nothing to do with it. He's lying when he tells you that. So is Keith Ellison. He's lying. Ilhan Omar, I don't know where you are on that. She made a number of appearances over the weekend on news shows.
Here is your latest Ilhan Omar report on Garage Logic.
What did you find? I know she was on Face the Nation, I think.
Yes, she was on Face the Nation. I don't know the name of the reporter. I'll have that for you in a second. But she was trying to put a positive spin on the $1 billion Somali fraud.
And remember, she won't come on this show.
No,
she won't. She won't talk to the local people
because you're racist.
Well, of course I am.
Right.
Face the Nation, though. She'll go on that. All right.
So, there are 80,000 people of Somali descent in your state, but the president has been very focused, not just on them, but on you. In this extraordinary cabinet meeting, he said Somalis, quote, come from hell. They complain and they do nothing but bitch. Take a listen.
These are people that do nothing but complain. They complain. And from where they came from, they got nothing. We don't want them in our country. Let them go back to where they came from and fix it. Thank you very much, everybody.
That knocking is vehement agreement from his cabinet members there. I just wonder what the reaction is in your district to have that from the highest office in the land.
It's disgusting. It's completely disgusting. These are Americans that he is calling garbage. And we feel like there is an unhealthy obsession that he has on the Somali community and an unhealthy and creepy obsession that he has with me. I think it is also really important for us to remember that this kind of hateful rhetoric and this level of dehumanizing can lead to dangerous actions by people who listen to the president.
And 95% of the Somalis in your state are U.S. citizens.
Yes.
Just for clarity there.
Well, two things.
What was she on? What show?
Face the Nation.
Got it.
Face the Nation. Sorry.
By introducing Trump, the moderator set Ilhan Omar up for the only answer you were going to hear from her. There was no. And if by introducing Trump, by the way, she said he has a creepy obsession with her. He does with a lot of people. That is not limited to you, Ilhan. That's just the way he operates. But more importantly, the fraud never gets discussed.
No. Why is that?
Because when Trump gets introduced to a topic, half the people will choose fraud over Trump. It's that simple.
I want to pick up on where the Treasury Secretary just left off. He alleged that people who were tied to you or your campaign were involved in this broad, brazen scheme to rip off the Minnesota state welfare system. Do you want to respond to that? Do you know what he is referring to?
I really don't, and I don't think the secretary himself understands what he's referring to. We obviously had people who were able to donate to our campaign that were involved. We sent that money back a couple years ago. And actually, I was one of the first members of Congress to send a letter to the Secretary of Ag asking them to look into what I thought was a reprehensible fraud that was occurring within the program.
Oh. She did send a letter, but upon reflection, as we re-examined the letter, she was asking, "What exactly are you going to do, and how are you going to do it?" And I'm gone now. I'm so cynical now. I believe she was wondering, what can I do to intervene here?
Joe, don't you think everything she said about the president in that first clip could be said pretty much about her and her obsession with him?
Yeah.
And the things that she has said could lead to, quoting her, dangerous actions against the president or members of the Republican Party? I mean, doesn't that go both ways?
Of course it does, but we live in pretty divided times.
Yeah, it's just a whole lot of hateful rhetoric being spewed back and forth right
I think it's
now.
a very legitimate question, and you can't count on some of these well-trained, good-looking so-called reporters on TV to ask her. But I think it's a very little legitimate question that how did your net worth go from $240,000 to $30 million during the last 5 years?
That'll never be asked.
That begs to be investigated.
Of course.
How did that happen? And I think she's as corrupt as the day is long. I think she knows every in and out of that food fraud. I think she knows exactly
who the good people are, who the bad people were.
I think she knows exactly how it happened. She didn't do anything to stop it. She claims I wrote this letter to the Department of Agriculture, meaning it was the Department of Ag that was sending the checks to the Department of Education. She wrote that letter to the Department of Ag, I think, as a scouting mission for the effort. She wanted to know what exactly are you people up to? How are you going to do it?
Everything you just said about her knowing, I think, I'm just going to go ahead and say can be applied to a lot of people right now in both the House and Senate here in Minnesota, and maybe even on a national level. I think a lot of people knew.
The Democrats in this state voted down a bill that would have created an inspector general. They voted it down. They wouldn't hear from it. They didn't want it to end. These are the people who vote for Democrats. This is their base. This is their constituency.
I know a person in my life that worked at the Fratelloni's Ace Hardware from 2012 to 2015, a little over 3 years, right in the middle of St. Paul. I asked him, did you see anybody? I worked there a little over 3 years. I don't remember seeing a single politician come through the store.
Oh, at Fratelloni's?
Correct.
Yeah.
And that's right in the heart of St. Paul.
Yeah. I just had some, it might have developed late last week, but we learned that DHS, Department of Human Services here, said it will stop accepting new applications from home and community-based service providers starting January 1st because the applications to provide those services has gone up 245% in the last 2 years.
Wow.
So people are clamoring for that, to steal that money. Here's the point. During Friday, we also put out a loud call to the Republican Party to get their act together. And that's still important, but what they must realize, or anybody wishing to become governor of this state must realize, it's immigration is probably not our problem. That's probably not our problem. What our problem is that the government is impossibly funding too many programs. There are just layers and layers of programs. What is this one? This is this home and community-based care providers, I think, is different than housing stabilization, for example, which was also fraud-ridden. There are the whole welfare state that Minnesota has become has got to be reinvented. And the irony,
one office.
And the irony is that with all of these programs, there's no evidence that anyone who really needs it is getting any help. And not once, by the way, despite all of this food fraud nonsense, Did you ever get a report of children who were genuinely prohibited from eating?
Right, went hungry.
Where are the people that supposedly were supposed to be being fed? They haven't turned up hungry anywhere. So whoever wants to become governor of this state and completely clean out that state house and start over, what you have to do is come up with a more efficient, professional, comprehensive welfare program that doesn't have 1,000 different programs, and you're going to call them all non-governmental organizations. I got an interesting note from Jordy. If you're a non-governmental organization and you have your funding cut off, then you weren't a non-governmental organization. You were a government organization. We have too many of them. And the more you have, the more likely there will be fraud. That would be true in any area of life. And it's not immigration that's necessarily the problem. It's this whole BS that Walz has tried to sell. Well, we're just a generous people. Yeah. No, Walz, you're full of BS. That has nothing to do with it. You're full of too many programs that are redundant, overlapping. The state overlaps with the Fed overlaps with the state. In the meantime, the honest taxpayers of Minnesota keep sending their money in, and it's either getting stolen or all it's doing is expanding the size of the government. This would not be happening if the people representing us were people we actually knew and could identify with. But those days are in the past. And I'm not taking the American citizenry off the hook. We didn't pay attention the way we should have. And moving in the place of the people we didn't know, in the place of the people we knew, are this young crowd of activists who don't like the way things work in this country. They don't like capitalism. They don't like competition. They don't like winning. They don't like success, because those things don't include too many people.
Witness Calhoun Square and Lake and Hennepin.
A once thriving, funky area of town is represented by a woman who holds everything dear to that corner in contempt.
When I'd drive over there, I'd circle the block once, find a parking spot, run in, buy a cigar, buy a book, do whatever at one of the very many shops up and down both Lake and Hennepin, right there. Mm-hmm. Parking spot was always available. Do one lap, you find a spot. Mm-hmm. You can't do that anymore. The other thing I wanted to mention...
No, it's all for bikes and pedestrians who have nowhere to go there, because there's nothing there to be a biker or pedestrian for.
You mentioned hungry kids, and even as recent as the election, when the governor was running with Harris for president and vice president, when we were all neck deep in fraud stories, he was still on the campaign trail bragging about how there's no hungry kids and how we work to feed hungry kids. And like Such said, show me the hungry kid.
Yeah, there aren't any, fortunately. Now, the other unfortunate part of this is we can't count on the country's news giants to be on the side of American liberty. Right. We can't count on them. They're part of the demise of our country. You can't count on the ABC Nightly News to do a deep dig on fraud.
That doesn't make any sense to me, because they're hurting themselves.
You can't count on the Star Tribune, which has really, really gone a long way out of the picture.
Remember Koppel and Nightline and how that came about, and how they rode that Nightline wave for how many decades?
Bring somebody on the air, put their feet to the fire. Well, like 60 Minutes used to do that too, but even in a more weekly major way. But Nightline. Every night he'd have somebody up there.
Why is that, Joe? Why is it that the most popular news program in the country isn't even a news program at all? It's a podcast.
Right.
Why is that? Is it the market, or is it just the news organizations giving up? I realize now we're changing direction, and you probably didn't want to go this way, but to me it's fascinating.
All I know is it's 50 years ago, which seems to me to be yesterday. It was only 1975. A story like this would have been so pursued that different newspapers would have been fighting each other for the Pulitzer Prize to unravel it. And people would have gone after Ilhan Omar. They would have said, doesn't make sense that her net worth went from $240,000 to $30 million in 5 years. That doesn't work. And she needs to be asked about it. I don't think that's intrusive. How can a congresswoman of no means whatsoever, suddenly be worth whatever the hell she's worth? I'm glad. I'm all for it. I'm all for people being worth $30 million. But I don't think she came by it honestly.
They're just doing it wrong. Kupchella makes a piece, and instead of talking about what Kupchella discovered, they're going after the donors. Joe Rogan, an opinion-based entertainment program. Rogan, while sitting there puffing on a cigar, asks some newsmaker a question, breaks news all across the country. All the news organizations, instead of taking that and running with it and calling that newsmaker and getting more information, go after Joe Rogan. Well, Joe Rogan isn't a news guy. He's an opinion guy, sitting there puffing cigars, having a conversation.
Well, there is no greater example of shooting a messenger than Kupchella.
Yeah.
He was pilloried by the Star Tribune. Why Star Tribune do you want a failed city?
Kupchella just handed you a story. Why? Well, you know what? He handed you a story that they probably knew about and they've been ignoring.
Omar reported a net worth of up to $30 million in her latest financial disclosure.
That's not plausible. Honest, it's not plausible that she did that honestly.
In that short amount of time.
It's not plausible.
Her wealth derives almost entirely from the ownership of her husband, Tim Minette, from his ownership stake in two companies, a California-based winery and a venture capital firm.
That she has used. Hey, if you want to go after somebody, go after Pelosi. I mean, come on, man.
No, that's just ridiculous.
Yeah.
But they all benefit.
Yeah, we're getting far afield, but...
Yeah, we are. Let's get back to kicking those chunks. Let's kick some chunks.
Hey.
See, I hope your garage door is working because this weather's not letting up. We're going to have a great big winter, and we're in the midst of it or at the very beginning of it. Not for a 21st, I'm fine. I got about, 15 days left, whatever. And I'll be in the spring, but not you people. So you get your garage door fixed, or you need a new one, go to Precision Door, Minnesota. Precision Door has models for every budget. $100 off now for GLers on a single door, $200 off on a double door. If you like your current door, but you're getting a little nervous because she's creaking and croaking and making some noises you don't like, you don't want that sucker to not work on one of these 10 below mornings, so get a noisy door tune-up special from Precision Door. $149. You get a 25-point safety inspection and diagnostic. Get that sucker taken care of so you don't have any problems during this long upcoming winter. Remember, we're 70 days between 60-degree temperatures.
Let's go.
That's all. That's a long time. That's 20% of the year. Book online at Precision Door MN, one word, precisiondoormn.com, or call Precision Door at 612-263-6985 to schedule your free on-site new door estimate or book a Precision Door noisy door tune-up special.
It's the end of the world as we know it, and he feels fine. Joe Souchere.
I'm going to feed Reavers a little Seafoam right down the yap.
God, I could use it.
See if it clears things up. I don't think Reavers is mentioned on seafoamworks.com, the website with all the information you'll ever need for all the various uses of all the various Seafoam products. But I still like hearing from GLers who scored a victory with Seafoam, much like I did over the weekend. The theme of today's Seafoam story is a little bit goes a long way. We drained the gas out of the snowblower last spring, affectionately known as the Big Bastard, but we didn't drain the gas and the carbs, so once it fired up on Saturday, it wouldn't run with the choke-off. Well, you all know what I did. I fed it about an ounce of Seafoam right into the gas tank, let it sit there and idle for 5 minutes, turned the choke off, she ran like new. No big deal. It happens all the time. Nothing unusual there. Same thing happened with that greasy 2-stroke triple Yamaha mountain sled of mine. The gas tank was dry because I've got this really cool siphoning tool that just sucks the gas out. You get right down to the bottom of the tank. Anyway, the one or two of those flat side carbs had some gunk in the pilot jet. It wouldn't run at idle. I gave it a big gulp of Seafoam, ran it on the stand for about 10, 15 minutes, finally purred like a little kitten right before I shut it down. Again, nothing unusual about that. That's what you can expect with Seafoam. That's how it is. It's your trusted mechanic, and it can, before you haul it to your mechanic, before you remove that rack of carbs and tear them down, give it a shot of Seafoam, let those carbs eat for a few minutes, and it does the job. It keeps all fossil fuel fired cylinders running clean and happy. A wonderful product in a world of bad gas. Our best friend, Seafoam.
Here's Mr. John Haidt in his newsroom.
Thank you, Joe. This news brought to you by North American Banking Company. Some weather news to kick things off. Winter storm watch in effect for parts of the Twin Cities. Several counties, Douglas, Todd, Morrison, Mille Lacs, Kennebec, Stearns, Benton, Sherburne, Isanti, Chisago, Anoka, Ramsey, and Washington have the potential for heavy accumulating snow and very gusty winds from central Minnesota to western Wisconsin. That starts tomorrow afternoon, and they say it could last through Tuesday night. We could get up to 4 to 7 inches of snow in that area, and as the snow's falling, it's also going to become very windy. Winds become very strong with gusts of 30 to 40 miles an hour. Snow should end from west to east during the morning hours of Wednesday. So that winter storm watch in effect starting tomorrow for those named.
Well, cut the total in half then. So what? About 3 inches maybe?
You're going to miss us.
John, I use the National Weather Service exclusively, a government organization, by the way. 1 to 3, they're saying tomorrow afternoon, 1 to 2 tomorrow night. So it's either half of that or twice that.
Right. In other words, you know what? Just enjoy it. Just go about your life. It's okay.
Take it as it comes.
It's okay.
A quick sports note, U of M has accepted an invitation to play in the Rate Bowl, December 26th in Phoenix.
Excuse me?
The Rate Bowl. The Gophers will face New Mexico.
The Rate Bowl.
I see Iowa State had the good sense to say the hell with it. They're not going to be in a bowl.
Was there something controversial about Notre Dame over the weekend?
Meant to say Notre Dame, not Iowa State.
Oh, Iowa State also voted not to play in a bowl game.
Oh, they did?
Yeah.
Oh, I missed that. To hell with it.
Notre Dame didn't vote not to play in a bowl game. They were excluded from the playoffs.
College football
but they're not going
playoff.
to play in any bowl game. They could have played in another bowl
We ain't going to the beef.
I don't blame them. I don't blame them.
Yeah.
Are they pouting?
Yes. They took their ball
I
and
think
went home.
with justification.
Okay, Lexus.
What?
Can you change your name?
I don't even know what that means.
I don't even know what that means.
Mercedes Lexus. Okay, buddy.
He went luxury car on you.
The Gophers will face New Mexico 3:30 in the afternoon, December 26th at Chase Field. The game will air on ESPN. This will mark the first meeting between Minnesota and New Mexico. This will be the Gophers' 26th all-time bowl appearance. The Gophers last played in a game in 2021, defeating West Virginia 18-6. In this game, Minnesota has won 8 straight bowl games dating back to the 2015 Quick Bowl Lane, and that's the
they beat White Bear Lake.
It's the longest active streak in the nation, Joe. The longest in Big Ten history, Joe. and tied for the fourth longest bowl streak in college football history.
Oh, that's great. When's the last time they played in a real bowl?
Positivity is going to change this culture, period.
Shut up.
When you get inside the football walls, you're going to have positivity hit you right in the face.
Yeah, when's the last time they played in a real bowl? Well, the answer, of course, is the Rose Bowl, and that would have been 60.
Well, the Outback Bowl was
No, that's not real. I'm sorry.
And so the bowl
free
game that
onion
they're
blossom.
playing in right now, these are the kids that just recently won the punt, pass, and kick competition and are ready to roll.
Hey, since we're talking sports here, John, can you break down for me just what the hell happened to the Wild over the weekend?
I can't.
They play Seattle tonight. They better win.
They're going to play Phil McCracken.
Yeah.
Jeez.
That is so
In
cheap,
news,
Matthew. So cheap.
In news, the Star Tribune.
I thought your microphone was off.
I fixed it. I hacked into it.
The engineering staff actually sent an email. Joe, rookie's mic is fixed. We're sorry.
Thank you.
Yeah, they apologize.
They should give Joe the switch. From
No, don't give him an idea. You can't do that. We told you.
Hey, can that happen?
No.
Like the old Kenny Field shutter down.
Yeah.
Should have a little fader for Joe. Anybody talks he doesn't like it, he can just fade him out.
I'd love it.
Okay, Kenny.
Or a little shot collar.
The Minneapolis City Council is expected to discuss giving Mayor Jacob Fry a raise of over $46,000 next year, and themselves raises in 2 years if approved. The final vote could come as soon as tomorrow.
Wait, stop,
Yes,
John.
sir. Uh-huh.
You said
Yes,
that wrong. You read it
What did
wrong.
I
The
say?
comma's in the wrong place. You didn't actually say $46,000, did you? You said
I did.
$4,600.
No, $46,000.
You said $460, right? You said $4.60, right, John?
They're treating us like we're an ATM machine.
$46,000?
It would, the salary increases would have to go to the mayor for approval of the city council.
Geez, I wonder if he'd approve.
Yeah, I
that.
wonder if I'll do that.
I would have my approval down already.
No wonder-
Pre-approved.
no wonder we had a bug.
Like those letters I get in the mail. Pre-approved.
No wonder we had 75 people running for mayor.
Oh, yeah.
Goodness gracious.
Wow.
Now, the raises are recommended by the city clerk's office.
Sure.
2 years after a salary survey found the mayor's salary lags peers and council members' salary is ahead of peers in comparable cities. Right now, the mayor makes $141,000. That's about $57,000 lower than the average in 19 comparable cities.
And about $100,000 too much.
According to a study done by Guidehouse that puts Minneapolis in the bottom 15%. The mayor makes nearly $13,000 less annually than the St. Paul mayor, Joe. St. Paul mayor is paid $153,579,000.
I think he's even gone to the office a couple times. Yeah.
In 2023, Guidehouse found Minneapolis City Council members who get about $110,000 annually were at the top of the scale among 9 peer cities, with only Seattle Council members being paid more. The study found Minneapolis Council members were paid nearly $29,000 more than the average. St. Paul City Council is part-time. They get paid half the mayor's salary, about $77,000.
Let's return to Murder by Lightning, the story of James Garfield's very short presidency and the ascendancy of Chester Arthur. What was the one defining characteristic of Garfield? John watched it, read the book. It's a great series. Well, I'll answer the question.
He was hokey.
He didn't want to be president.
No, not at all.
That was it. I always want the person who doesn't want the office. He didn't want it. He didn't seek it. He did not seek it. It was all
But he
happenstance.
accepted it.
Yeah, reluctantly.
Very reluctantly.
Did you seek the mayoral position in Garage Logic?
Urgently.
Okay.
Yeah, urgently.
Yeah, he was way too. There was nobody else.
Nobody else wanted
We
it.
had to give it to him. Nobody else wanted it.
It's kind of the same way I ended up on Garage Logic, isn't it?
Yeah.
I had a phone call from one of the participants' wives, and I was told, "You don't have any choice, pal."
Did she call you?
So here I am.
A Monday morning fire is
You think
left
I'm going to say no to her? Are you crazy? No way.
A Monday morning fire has left a mosque and school in Prior Lake with significant damage. It happened at the Masjid Hamza Mosque and Batul Hikmah Academy building located off Highway 13 near Fish Point Road. Prior Lake Fire Department says a neighbor called it in just after 2:20 in the morning. When crews got there, flames were coming through the roof. The extent of the blaze forced firefighters outside, according to the department, and a portion of the building's roof later collapsed. Fortunately, nobody was hurt, and the fire is now under investigation by the State Fire Marshal and the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives because it's a religious institution. Several fire crews are still at the scene working to extinguish any remaining hotspots.
So it could have been a defective wiring for all we know. This isn't necessarily the fault of white people who hate everybody.
We have no idea at this point what caused it. Yeah. Minnesota Republican Senator Jim Abler says he was frustrated after hearing President Trump call Somalis garbage. Said he wants them, saying he wanted them out of the U.S. The Republican from Anoka sent a letter to the president last week defending Somalis following the president's remarks. The letter asked President Trump to join him in a meeting with the Somali community to understand how Somalis are woven into Minnesota's fabric. He wrote, "When I heard your comments about Somali men and women being garbage, I was surprised. The Somalis I know," Abler said, "and I know many, are nothing of the sort. They're business people, drivers, hourly workers, supporting their families, investors, nurses, students, and clerics, just like how my ancestors turned out."
All right, somebody do me a favor.
Oh.
Would you find Trump's garbage quote? I want to hear it.
Audio?
We shouldn't call people garbage. That's ridiculous. But is there a context, or did he just say Somali people are garbage, or did he say fraud was garbage? I'd like to know. I'm not. It won't surprise me no matter which answer we find, but I'd like to know the actual sentence in which the word was used.
If I remember right, it was one of those stream of consciousness diatribes. How
about we do this? How about we take a break? I think I have it, and we can play it when we get back.
All right, thank you.
Good enough for me, Chris.
Johnny?
Before we do take that break, Chris, thank you. I want to tell you about Aura Frames.
Hey.
The gift clock. It's ticking down, folks. You don't have much time left. Listen up, because I've got your perfect gift solution with a personal touch from Aura Frames. It's tough if you're buying a present for a family member, maybe a close friend, sibling, whatever. Aura, perfect answer. It's easy to upload unlimited photos and videos. You just download the Aura app. You connect it up to your Wi-Fi at home. You can even preload photos before it ships. And at my house, we've already loaded up an Aura frame. We've had it maybe 2 to 3 months now. We've got almost 800 pictures and videos of it. The pictures, the videos, they all scroll by while you're sitting there watching it. And for a limited time, you can save on the perfect gift by visiting auraframes.com and getting $35 off Aura's best-selling Carver Mat frames. That frame's been named #1 by Wirecutter. And to get that $35 off, all you have to do is use promo code GL at checkout. That's auraframes.com, promo code GL. This deal is exclusive to listeners, and frames sell out fast, so make sure you order yours now. Get it in time for the holidays. Support the show by mentioning GL at your checkout. Terms and conditions apply. Aura Frames.
Maine. Truth, justice, and the suture.
Oh, hey, you guys are back on the air.
Thank you. I appreciate that. It's about time. As I say,
it's rolling the dice at this point today.
Right, 100%. As I say to my grandson Trey, it's time. You know what that means?
No.
Okay. I don't either. Neither does he, 'cause he doesn't talk. But it's time for you garage logicians to check out the Twin Cities Savers Auction. It's the Garage Logic Holiday Auction. It's online, and you can save up to 70%.
Do we get to bid?
No,
serious question.
No, it's like you can't take advantage of the your employment issues.
Because there's good stuff.
Can't I just get it for free?
No. Well, you got to tell somebody about it, and then they'll get it for you, and then you can have it.
Oh, okay.
Save up to 70% on your holiday shopping with the Garage Logic Holiday Online Auction. Go to garagelogic.com. keyword auction. You can register right now. Bidding starts this Friday, so take a sneak peek right now. It runs through Thursday, 12/18, shuts off at 8 p.m., and there's thousands of dollars of items that'll be up for bids, and it's only 1 week. We want to get this done, and we want to make sure that you take advantage of it, so pay attention. 1 week. Items up for auction include a modern buggy RV teardrop trailer from Pleasureland RV. That's been a very popular item in the past. It's back, folks. 75 rounds of golf with cart at Deer Run Golf Course. What?
I need that teardrop thing.
Well, you can't bid. You're going to have to figure it out for yourself.
Is there a picture of it on the website?
Yes.
I'll bid for you, Joe.
Well, you're on the show, you moron.
3- and 4-star packages where you can drive a tank. That's pretty cool. Plus, if you're working on your golf game like Suchi, a 3-hour indoor golf simulator rental from DriveBox. It's all online at the Garage Logic Holiday Auction. And again, bidding starts Friday and runs through the 18th. Stuff from EcoFront, the Garage Floor Geeks, the Intercontinental Hotel at the airport, and you can be part of that if you look at your watch and say, you've gone too long on this promotion.
Come on, let's go here.
Where are you going? To the auction?
Is there parking available?
Yeah.
You done?
Boy, I better be.
Here's John again.
I've been stifled again.
John Haidt, where is he?
Frozen?
John?
Yes.
That was funny, John. Good timing.
I was watching a video.
Yeah.
I was watching what I thought we were coming back with.
Do you have it, Chris?
Huh?
I do.
All right.
This is
my mic working?
This is President Trump.
Nope.
Okay.
This was over the weekend. This is courtesy of Fox News.
Millions.
I'm sorry, what, John?
This isn't over the weekend. This was
last week.
This was a
couple
week ago.
weeks ago. Yeah.
Okay. I'll be over
This is President Trump, courtesy of Fox News.
Millions ripped off that state for billions of dollars. Billions. Every year. Billions of dollars. And they contribute nothing. The welfare is like 88%. They contribute nothing. I don't want them in our country, I'll be honest with you, okay? Somebody say, oh, that's not politically correct. I don't care. I don't want them in our country. Their country's no good for a reason. Their country stinks, and we don't want them in our country. I could say that about other countries, too. I can say it about other countries, too. We don't want them to hell. We have to rebuild our country. You know, our country's at a tipping point. We could go bad. We're at a tipping point. I don't know if people mind me saying that, but I'm saying it. We could go one way or the other, and we're going to go the wrong way if we keep taking in garbage into our country. Ilhan Omar is garbage. She's garbage.
Okay, I got my question answered.
These are people.
He's calling people garbage. All right. That was the context.
Okay. Do you want more news now then?
Yes.
Okay. In national and international news, President Trump planning a $12 billion farm aid package, according to a White House official. A bailout to farmers who have struggled to sell their crops while getting hit by rising costs after the president raised tariffs on China as part of a broader trade war. Farmers have backed Trump politically, but his aggressive trade policies and frequently changing tariff rates have come under increasing scrutiny because of the impact on the agricultural sector and because of broader consumer worries. The aid is the administration's latest effort to defend Trump's economic stewardship and answer voter angst about rising prices.
Hold on, stop a second.
Yeah.
Trump calling Ilhan garbage, I mean, is that the equivalent of some of the things we've said about her, or Walls for that matter?
No, I don't think I've ever used that. I know I haven't used that.
Yeah,
word.
we've said some pretty nasty things about
I don't
both
think
of them.
so. I don't. No, I don't. I think you're wrong, and I think you're trying to foment a little argument here, but that doesn't work. We never have said garbage, ever. People aren't garbage, period.
Okay, all right.
Corrupt.
Yeah.
Yes.
Is that a distinction without a difference?
No.
Okay. No, I meant that.
Well, look
with all
up the
sincerity.
term corrupt. You're not going to find a synonym that's garbage.
President Trump's efforts to reshape the executive branch and flex his presidential powers set to be tested at the Supreme Court today when the justices have convened to hear a case that could lead to the dismantling of protections meant to insulate independent agencies from political pressure. The case, known as Trump v. Slaughter, arose from the president's move to fire Rebecca Kelly Slaughter from her post at the Federal Trade Commission without cause, despite a federal statute that limits a commissioner's removal to instances of inefficiency, neglect of duty, or malfeasance in office. Japan said today Chinese military aircraft locked radar on their fighter jets, even though they were a safe distance between them, denying Beijing's accusations of interference and renewing its protest over the incident. The Self-Defense Force were maintaining safe distance, according to Chief Cabinet Secretary Minoru Kahara. President Vladimir Zelensky of Ukraine said today he was meeting with European leaders in London to talk about what he called sensitive issues regarding those peace talks that have languished because of clashing views about how to end his country's nearly 4-year-old war with Russia. Prime Minister Keir Starmer of Britain is hosting Zelensky, along with President Emmanuel Macron of France and Chancellor Friedrich Merz of Germany. Meanwhile, this doesn't sound safe. Chernobyl's new safe confinement facility may have been compromised after a drone strike. After a drone strike in February of 2025, according to reports. The strike, likely an accident, but the drone did carry a high explosive warhead, creating a hole in the structure, starting a fire, and damaging the protective outside. Since then, the International Atomic Energy Agency has warned the incident could have compromised the NSC's ability to shield against radiation leaks and that they are in dire need of repair. At the time of the attack, Ukraine accused Russia of being the culprit, but Russia, for its part, denies any such claims. After the incident, there have reportedly been no increases in local radiation levels, and no release has yet to be detected.
Well, how come all the dogs in around there are blue?
Two-headed?
Yeah.
Can you see
They're
Chernobyl
blue.
from space?
I mean, I'm not making this up.
I know,
They're blue.
it's bad.
They got blue dogs.
Where do you get a blue dog?
You can get them. You can get them in Chernobyl.
Well, do you apply for that gig? I'm in charge of the radiation repair
Did
team.
you ever see the film Chernobyl?
I did, yeah.
No,
You don't apply for that gig. The poor saps that had to do that, God bless them. Climbing in there, are you kidding me? And now their dog is blue.
I would.
You mean sad?
No, blue color.
Oh, I thought they were just depressed.
You should watch. Everybody should watch that.
It's
just. I mean, aside from being the story itself, it's such a engrossing tale.
Yeah, it really is. I don't trust those idiots as far as I can throw them.
When does that radiate? How do they cap the radiation, or when does it go away?
Matt, watch the movie. I can't answer the
That's too
question.
long.
Well, then don't ask a dumb
Is
question.
it fun?
Officials
Is there nudity?
Yeah. You got any chick with big Chernobyl? She's got 7 cans.
Just big Chernobyl.
Right, you got 7 cans.
Yeah.
Mayor.
I need full frontal.
Here's what you do.
Right.
Just tell them it's a love story.
You guys are morons. You just reveal yourself too much.
Joe, I'm not. I'm the one that
I know
said
John
they should
isn't.
watch it.
I've actually seen it, but
Thank
it's
you,
more
Joe.
fun to be dumb
Long
than to
time
be
ago.
an
Clean
uppity
it up.
snob like you two.
So it's like Huckleberry Hound shows up because he's, blue dog.
They got blue dogs.
Blue.
Oh, Huckleberry is blue, isn't he?
Yeah.
So is
Blue's
Talks funny too.
or Bluey.
Blue's Clues.
They're blue dogs and they talk.
Yep.
Yeah.
Just because we don't go around bragging about how smart we are.
Yeah, you should see the documentary that I watched. It made me really smart.
there's a-
Be condescending to you. You don't even know.
There's a
hope.
reason for
There's
that,
no
Kenny.
hope. There's no hope.
Yeah.
There's no hope.
I was just setting
I
that
want
up,
that
John.
means to turn his
I
mic
couldn't
off.
get in.
I want a big switch right here.
And, this bridge building thing was on.
Kenny, we could have been a great comedy team there for a second if everybody hadn't kept talking.
Yeah.
That's what we're gonna do.
Sorry, I'm good at
That's
that.
all right.
Bob and Ray.
Bob and Ray. I was watching
yeah.
a documentary on Bob and Ray and their funniness.
Officials in California are urging people not to forage for wild mushrooms after a rise in poisoning cases caused at least one death.
There you are.
The California Poison
Blue
Control
dogs,
System.
Blue dogs, wild
Everything.
mushrooms.
Classic.
I found a puffer out in the forest this year, and I wasn't bold enough to eat it. Everybody says eating puffer is good.
I wouldn't do that.
I,
Nobody? Nobody?
No. Oh.
Okay. All right.
Joe, turn my mic off. Sorry.
California Poison Control System has identified 21 cases of amatoxin poisoning clustered in Northern California, likely resulting from death cap mushrooms. The poisoning resulted in severe liver damage in several people, including children, and at least one of the patients may need a liver transplant. Death cap mushrooms can easily be mistaken for safe edible mushrooms because they look, smell, and taste pretty much the same.
Who's encountering
That's the
this
game
stuff?
we like to play, John. Who was the first caveman that walked along the path and decided to eat a mushroom?
That's what I was going to ask. Who's out in the wild saying, I should probably eat this?
Well, no,
There's
we
a
have
lot of-
guides now. You can get a book.
Yeah, and there's a lot of people that do forage for mushrooms, Chris.
Yeah, because they don't sell them at Cub for $2 a box.
You know, the one I don't get is, I think it's pronounced ginseng or
Ginseng.
Ginseng?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, if I had a forest for of that, I'd be rich.
Yeah. Has anybody watched Landman?
Yeah.
I don't want to pay the extra $2 a month.
I had to stop.
Oh, I love it. But did you see the episode where all these guys died out in the field?
Nah.
We don't know what was leaking from the ground. What
Blue
was,
dogs?
no.
Oh.
Dogs.
Oh, this is John, you're done. The hell with it.
Hey, Robbie, because of your request,
Gladly.
I did find it.
Oh, you did.
In the schools, the tensions.
Yes.
You're a real dummy to bring in anything that resembles anything.
100. Leave all that crap at home.
Are we on the air successfully, or are we having weather problems?
Looks like we're.
I think we're getting her rectified here. There we go.
Yeah, it looks like we're getting a clean bill of health.
What's
but
that mean? We're getting rectified.
a lot of people calling and asking.
Am I on the air?
What are they calling and asking?
If we're on the air.
Can you just end Why? this?
No.
Just
Please,
go
we were
away.
having some technical
You mean
issues.
we weren't on the air?
Yes, you were. So, yes, you were.
Okay. Reeves?
Yeah.
Reavers?
Yes, sir.
Get the two callers.
Who are asking, what's wrong? Why can't we hear you on the air?
Just a minute.
Do it.
Caller, what's your name?
Oh, hey, you guys are back on the air. Thank you.
Thank you, he says.
Boy, were we good, weren't we?
Is this why we got fired?
No wonder we were so good in the ratings.
I think that's why we're doing a podcast now.
Yeah, they brought us in a couple of years ago, and they played this and said, "You're done now."
You guys want some of this?
You guys can go home.
Yeah, we'll see you later. Yeah. Oh.
Hey.
You cannot stop him. He'll just make a move. Joe Souchere.
I got great news. On Trump's birthday now, you can get free passes to the parks.
Hello?
What?
I saw that.
Yeah.
Is it true he's going to make his birthday a national holiday?
Well, it says here that the Trump administration is reshaping when Americans can enter national parks for free, adding Trump's birthday as a fee-free day while eliminating Martin Luther King Day and Juneteenth.
Oh, boy.
Jeez, are you kidding me?
Yeah,
That
good
was
idea.
come
Really
on.
good idea.
That's a joke.
No, you celebrate his birthday in the park there.
Do you get a cake and all that?
You get everything. It's great. He's just
Party hat.
What's Chris Rock's line about Martin Luther King Drive or Martin Luther King Park?
It's the worst part of town.
Yeah.
Only because they come
There
to us.
it is.
No,
Been
here
waiting for
we
that.
are, day 43 from the Traveling Lymans. What we've done since the last email, we've crossed the equator for the third time. We're now back in the southern hemisphere, and our port of call is in Darwin, Australia.
That's an odd route if
My
they keep going
God, are they at sea a long
back
time?
and forth.
That is just
What
amazing.
kind of boat are they on?
A big,
Cruise ship?
no,
An
Matt, they're in a
Evinrude.
kayak. It was on this day.
Doesn't take much to get him to bite, does it, Matt?
Really, it's like taking candy from a small baby.
So easy.
Yeah.
On this day,
December 8th.
in 1863, the First National Bank of St. Paul was organized. The first Minnesota bank chartered under the National Banking Act of 1863. derived from a private bank owned by Parker Payne, Paine. It would eventually lose its name through a series of mergers, though there is still a First National Bank building in St. Paul. There's a big one on the top.
She's up for sale right now.
It's probably for, what, 10 cents on the dollar?
Yeah, you bet.
Great building, by the way.
I know.
Beautiful building.
They still have your dictionary?
No, we weren't there. We were
I thought that was your building.
No. On this day,
Joe, today is December 8th.
in 1886, in a fight over the possession of Traverse County records, citizens of Browns Valley, the old county seat, brawled in the streets of their town with farmers from Wheaton, the new seat, who arrived early in the morning to claim the records. The outnumbered invaders fled with only one load, which was later returned to Browns Valley. All the records were eventually moved to Wheaton without further battle. So they had a big Todd.
Yeah, they were
Travis.
fun.
Todd and Travis, I think, are the T counts.
Yeah, the T ones.
On this day in sports disappointment history.
What do you got?
Who did we lose to on December 8th?
On this day in 1978, after being traded to the Giants, Carew said he will not report. What?
He wasn't traded to the
Was
Giants.
Carew traded to the San Francisco Giants?
California.
Angels.
What is this? That's not, it wasn't
Well,
Giants.
when you cross the
That's
equator,
got to be Tarkington.
teams get
No, he went to the Angels.
Angels,
Right.
yeah.
He never got traded to the Giants, did he? No.
See?
We got a guy in the other room for stuff like
verified.
this.
Rod Carew was almost traded to the San Francisco Giants in 1978 in a deal involving Mike Ivey and Jim Dwyer, but Carew rejected the offer. The Twins ultimately traded him to California.
I'll
There
be
you go.
damned.
Didn't know that.
On this day,
Joe, today is December 8th.
in 1984, holy mackerel, the Vikings lost 71-7
Ouch.
to the 49ers. It was the greatest deficit, I think it would obviously remain so, in franchise history.
Les Steckel, right?
84 would have been less.
Yeah.
What's the most recent blowout we know, Patrick?
Well, yesterday, 31-0. Come on.
But they won
41
that.
donut.
41 donut. Yeah.
On this day,
Joe, today is December 8th.
in the year 2000, Glenn Taylor and Kevin McHale suspended for illegal Joe Smith deal.
Lost a lot of draft
I don't know
picks.
what that means.
They signed him to an illegal contract.
Why would was Kevin
was the
by
GM.
then the GM?
He was the GM. Yep.
His playing days were over 25 years ago.
Oh, yeah.
How old is Kevin? He's got to be 70.
He was done playing in the early 90s.
Holy mackerel. Where did the time go?
Oh, I know, Joe.
Thank you, GLers.
Joe.
Yes.
Oh, you're done. I'm
No.
sorry.
But go ahead, John.
There's no such thing as a 71-7 loss to the Niners in Vikings history.
Wow, what's the biggest
Did they
margin?
play the 49ers in 1984?
Well, let's check
You
that.
could look up December 8th, 1984.
Kevin McHale is 67.
Guys, I'm on the air. Am I-
His birthday is December 19th, coming up.
John, what are you finding?
I'm finding nothing. 51-7. We got a 51-7 loss.
Well, we've got a typo here.
Okay.
yeah,
51-7.
51-7.
Understandable.
December 8th.
There we go.
All right.
Bill
That's today.
On this day.
What year was that, John?
1984. Bill
Okay.
Walsh, coach of the
That's
Niners.
26.
You can
All right, I'll talk to you guys tomorrow.
All right. Thank you, GLers.
Send her out.
Why do you keep playing that?
I don't. I don't keep playing.
Why do you keep playing that?
It just keeps firing, and I'm not exactly sure why.
Well, are you a little wound up?
It's 10-2. My God, I got to be back to the aeropuerto, senoro.
Goodbye.
Will you do
Goodbye.
us a favor and subscribe to all of our channels, which is YouTube. Gracie's going to walk in, Facebook, Instagram. Just, you know what? We'll see you tomorrow.
Yeah.
See ya.